Hey guys! Ooh, it's coming loud on me. If it's too loud for you guys, let me know. I'm turning my own volume down though. Okay, there we go. Woo! So last time didn't go particularly well. A bit of a comedy of errors last time. I ended up doing the rest of that fight off stream. I didn't think dragging it to another stream would really do much good because I'm not reacting to the story afterwards, and I've already shown off all the phases, including the parts you guys want to see, which is me suffering. But yeah. So we're going straight into Stellar Olga. I kind of know how this fight works. There's a hard turn limit that'll be identified at the very start of the fight, and it's going to drain down as you go through all of the rounds leading up to the fight. It's sort of like the first two fights where there's enemies you have to take out. Especially the first one, actually, where you have to take out the enemies. You can't just wait out the harder fights. Except now there's turn limits. And then you end up doing a boss fight with Olga, but I believe if you hit with a specific card type, it extends out how many turns you have to hit or to kill her, which hitting with a card type is not that hard in a boss setting. So I'm sure it'll be a little rougher than that, but I don't think if you can make it to that final round, I'm pretty sure you're unless you get RNG screwed, you're probably a little safer. At least that's what I'd have to imagine. I say that's how it works if it's card type. I'm pretty sure it's card type, but I could be wrong. Oh. You guys got to see a little Jack cameo. As far as if I'll be able to do it, I don't know. I have X-Naya's guide pulled up here because X-Naya did the great public service of writing out the guide and posting it in his description to his video. So I am gonna use that to reference on like how I should build my teams, because this is the fight I'm the least familiar with, and it's not just one long fight. So instead of taking 3 streams to learn everything here, we're gonna try doing this in one stream, and then I'll post the results in the Discord when I eventually do beat it. But let's see here. You haven't managed to reach Stellar Olga, maybe? Okay. Looking at what's here, I'm not terrified, to be honest here. Because I think, just looking at the guide that X9 put up, I think I can make it, and I don't think I have enough, like, big hitters for Stellar Olga in particular. The problem's going to be the filler units, I think, for me, which seems to be the problem that you had too. Yeah, I mean, look, there's always and honestly, it's not always a good chance. There is a very high chance, actually, that this goes terribly and I crash out again. But this time I checked, there's no maintenance directly after this is directly at the back end of the stream, so I don't think we'll have that issue again. But we're about to find out. Okay. Alright, this should be the planning phase. Alright. Yeah, so this mechanic's funky. And I'm sure that's useful, but that just has the class advantages, I'm pretty sure. I have those pulled up too. So this U-Olga takes double damage from Saber, Ruler, Foreigner, Beast, Shielder, and U-Olga Marie. The best units here are going to be Mash and U-Olga Marie, because those two only do the double damage. They don't take the double damage. Everyone else is taking the double damage. So I think, logically speaking, the back lines, like the last 2 rounds, should probably be Mash and U-Olga Marie. I'll probably put Mash as the very last, as number 10, because I'm fairly certain Mash can actually solo Stellar Marie, from what I've heard. Now, my Mash isn't level 120, mind you, so I will try to back her up with like a. I need to pull up a guide on New Mash. I have not used New Mash nearly as much as I probably should. Mash. I believe her NP becomes Buster if I'm remembering right. So I might want to consider bringing like Merlin with her. Paladin becomes AoE damage. Yep, Buster. But I'll take a look at this and as I'm making these teams, because I probably don't want to rely too much on supports during this fight, because I think I'm gonna. So for now, let's focus on getting a setup here that works to get me to Stellar Olga. So, so the guide that Xnaya posts, or that Xnaya recommends for this first round, just all AoE casters. So I might modify this a bit, especially looking at what's available in the other rounds. But I've got enough AoE casters to do some damage here. No, let's not do that. Because those two will have an easy time getting their NPs. And then either a really strong single target servant or an insta-kill. I don't really have insta-kill servants, I don't think. So we're going to have to rely on a strong single target. This enemy appears to be, if I'm not wrong, a Berserker? Yeah, Berserker Demonic Beast. So for single target... Oh yeah, I got Summer BB, which will be nice with CL, but CL's not particularly great in this fight, so... Like, if I'm not wrong even... I know CL's neutral, at least, for Olga. Any good single target will work here, so I just need to... I don't want to use my Berserker, because I feel like I should save the Berserker. I'll be honest, actually. I'm probably leaning... Let's go CL. I can guarantee 3 face cards. And... do I have any, maybe I'll go all CL and focus on C-Star Bombs. I'll shuffle this around as needed. Do I have C-Star Bombs? Oh, there's my new Moriarty. Hakuno's a C-Star Bomb. Really damn good C-Star Bomb, too, in fact. Okay, and then lastly... Stalling does me no good until Stellar Olga, so I'm not going to focus at all on stalling. You want stars for her skill too? Good to know. I kind of just need a filler here, to be honest. So... Fuck it. Eric Bloodaxe, you're up. You're just there to bench one, so I don't think I can go in without putting 3 people in that party. So, following that, I'm probably gonna have to switch my teams here most likely. Wave 3. So they're all gonna get an attack and defense down, lose HP. So I can try to keep up with that rider, but I probably should go party for a minute. So we're gonna go Zufu. There's no special recommendation here other than just being able to hit it. So this is where I'll throw Zufu. Zufu's not necessarily needed for much. I'm not gonna put Castoria down. Yeah, I kind of want to hold on to Castoria and Palomo. I'll put Jean here. Because Jean's a pseudo art support as well. And she doesn't hold as much utility as, say, a Sleepius does. Okay, Party 4. Party 4, I'm just going to build around Cuckoo. Again, C-Stars would be nice here. If my Hakuno were, if male Hakuno were leveled, I could use him to generate C-Stars for Cuckoo. But nah. Nah. Ah, so wave 5 is actually recommending an AoE quick servant, which I can do. AoE quick is pretty easy, actually. I got two options here. I can either go Lohi, or I can go the alter egos, the Chibihika. I'm gonna go Lohi. Lohi's a little better right now. And if we're really going all in on that AoE quick, followed up by crits, for now I'm gonna stick to Scotties here. The Scotties I'm not expecting to need to shuffle in for the final round. I will switch things around as needed though. Party 5. What's this? Battle 5, I'm going to want. For Battle 5, Class Triangle reversed, so I want an Archer Servant here. I can do an Archer Servant. Here's my Grand Archer. Arts would be nice to have here. There's not much I can really do about that. He has a good battery, though, so I don't need to get that much extra battery. Let's see. Maybe I could brute force this one a little bit. Who are my my archers that could work here? None of you, I don't think. Ooh. Okay. Do that. Let's do that. And I'll put Waver here, because I'm going to want a little bit more for Ptolemaeus. I also might switch it around so that he transforms into the single target version for that. Because if I do AoE, it's not going to do enough damage. Yeah, let's fuck with Ptolemaeus here, because I do need him to be switching to single target this time. Caster, round 7. What's the gimmick of round 7? Decrease my NB. Depending on how many offensive buffs I have, it decreases. Okay, so if I have a lot of buffs, I'm doing less damage, and this is a caster. It's going to decrease my NP gauge, though, so I need to think about this a little bit. Do I have any good alter egos in a fight like this? Not really. Okay. Then what I'm going to have to do is, if I can't be stacking too many NP buffs, my only option here is actually going to be to just pop off. Because I'm not going to be able to kill with one servant if I can't stack NP buffs for damage. Yeah, I'll worry about CEs and what I can do for them in a second. Battle 8. 10 enemies, 5 on screen at times. This is going to be a 2-round fight, or I can just wipe them all out with an... Okay, wipe them out with AoE and then use... So 2 AoE NPs, and then a middle break. The big guy there is Avenger, I have a feeling. go into the wave. Okay, so with this one I have to be careful, because every buff I put down in the middle of wave 9 down here, fighting that Lancer, is going to come back to bite me. So I'm at party 8. Oh, I'm at party 7. Did I skip a party? I think I've been switching out every round for this. Battle 4. Everything but quick. Lancer, Archer. Oh, I skipped Archer here. I can probably actually... So, what's Battle 6 doing? I'm just gonna... I have a Scott E setup there, and I can probably... I actually think I could probably take it out with that Scott E setup with Lohi, because Lohi's gonna crit really hard. So I'm actually gonna keep that way. That gives me multiple parties down here for the last 2 fights. So... the big thing is, whatever party I use for 8 here needs to be good. And they also, ideally, need to be able to take out Lancer. So I should actually build an AoE team around killing a single target Lancer. Okay. So, Saber here is probably best. But I need another AoE servant. What's the... Hang on, I'm gonna leave for a second. What is the... There's one Archer, so if I can get a Lancer in there, that should equalize it out just a bit. How do I have a good AoE Lancer though? So, not really managing that. I'm gonna take a look at that wave real quickly and see what the HP values are on that. Oh, that's not that bad. The Archer is what I'm going to worry most about here, though. So let's bring a Buki. That gives me a very generalized team. I can really push around at that. Well, Castoria there. Because Castoria can push... I'm thinking I push... I'm going to push Takeru the most. Because Takeru is going to need the most help. Okay, and once I have that cleared, these 3 parties should all be built around Stellar Olga, but they can also be good parties. So, I'm thinking up here, the first one I'm going to build around is going to be Draco. Single target, NP2, going to do a lot, and I can pair her with Tamamo, who should be able to give her that push she needs. I've already used my Castoria for a previous party, so I am down in art support right now. But let's see, who can I substitute out since I've already dropped Castoria somewhere? I got minimal art supports. Already dropped Zufu. I can give her Asclepius. That means Draco's gonna have no battery for herself, though. So this is very much a survive party, with the only hard defenses being that Guts. But I'm gonna go with it. She's not my end game either, so... Then we are gonna shift to Olga. With Olga, the big concern with Olga is what am I going to be doing to boost her damage? Because I'm going to have to save Merlin for MASH, really. That's kind of where I'm at. Actually, I think I'm out of meta support, so I might have to move Castoria out of there to pair with MASH, maybe. MASH, Castoria, Merlin. That might be smarter. Well, I can give her Koyon, that's easy. But other than Koyon... Oh, did I not give someone Mash? Oh, no, I need to give Merlin to Mash. Do Archetype Earth. Archetype Earth can instantly pull out an NP. Moon Cancers are neutral, so I don't have to be worried about that at all. And then final wave here is going to be set up around Mash. To be defeated, leaving Blood Axe to carry. Okay, so Mash is the primary fighter. Merlin, and I am going to switch Castoria down here. That means I'll have to find something else to do for T.H.E up here. What do I got, what do I currently have Waver doing? Here. Man, when you're one support off. Okay. Oh, I could just do that. Wait. Hang on, this is actually really easy. I'm just gonna... Oh, wait, no, it's not that easy. I can't pair Merlin up with Oberon. That's rule number 1 of Merlining. Okay. That's kind of what I'm gonna have to do. What I'll also do probably then is I'll probably bulk up Ibuki using Merlin's 3rd skill, since Ibuki's not going to be contributing much of anything to that Lancer fight. Or I'll use... No, actually, no, I'll hold on to that 3rd skill and use Ibuki's... and use it to buff T.H.E into that Lancer fight, so I only have to use it once. Oh, the game freeze up for you guys? Sorry, the capture card did that the other day, too. Hang on, I'm fixing it. Now it's gone altogether. Why is it not feeding you guys this correctly? Because I'm still getting my video feed. It's just you guys on OBS that aren't getting it. There we go. Let me know if it freezes again. Okay. Now time to worry about CEs. Honestly, this is the hardest thing to juggle. So with MASH, because I'm not rocking a, well, what does MASH have battery-wise without popping the battery that'll charge me in pretty quickly up to my MP again? Because my immediate thought is I want to get her first MP out quick so I can start pulling out her final MP. But her first NP, or her... Well, that's a... So Paladin MASH has a native 20% battery, so I can drop a Kaleidoscope on her to get her NP out without having to worry about popping her 30% battery. Because that's instantly going to become an NP damage of 100%, which will be important. Oh, and it's 5 C-stars, so... Okay. I'll need to get C-stars in that round, too, which isn't going to be... I don't think it'll be that bad, because I can probably pop Merlin's NP that same round if I play my cards right. And third skill, NP generation, so on defense. Yeah. Oh, now we get T. Yeah, I'll pop the third. You pop the third skill then, which should be fine for. I don't need to worry about dropping Marin's NP immediately. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build Masher on getting her NP out immediately. Merlin, I'm less worried about. Castoria, though, I would like her NP to pop out. When she drops her NP, I'd like Solemn Defense to have multiple stacks. So I am gonna give her Demonic Bodhisattva. One of my favorite setups of Castoria. Merlin, I'm gonna leave as is for a second. Okay, Olga. Olga's gonna get her NP out pretty much immediately. So, with that in mind, I'm going to make Olga my Black Grailer. Because she's going to need that extra damage. U2, well, I guess Archetype Earth, if she's going to be doing her thing, needs starting charge. But I don't need anything in particular. Let's give her as much damage as possible, though, with starting charge. There we go, that says Buster. And I don't mind having extra arts. Okay. Here we go. Draco. Draco absolutely needs starting charge. Like, there's no way around it. I need that starting charge. I don't have a 100% starting charge, so Draco might even be sitting there around unless Asclepius... I don't use Asclepius enough. First time I really used him was that second Olga fight. Asclepius, do you have any batteries? I don't think you do. Oh no, he does, and I do have him 10-10-10. So he is going to give me enough to where if I give, yeah, that'll help. That'll work with Draco. Okay. I'm going to hold on that for a second then. Okay, up here. Things are starting to get more complicated now that I've used all the really, really good CEs. You need to pop out immediately, and you need to hit hard without much extra help. I will be able to charge you with just normal CEs. Sure. Ibuki. Sure. Okay, I'm going to hold off on Oberon. Okay. We'll go with that. You don't really need a CE, so I can just drop something damage related on you. And I think I do need to start with some CE charge, but I don't think you go to full 100% off for that. You're an art servant, though. I'd give you that 30% to not waste a charge like that. But I do need you to have an art CE. Okay, we'll go with that. And Kentucky needs a CE as well. All of them do need CEs. Quick, quick, quick. Sure. Okay. These guys don't need CEs as much. I'm gonna give Ptolemy and Arash CEs. But Arash I can keep down at 30%, I think. So up here, Not at 30%. Ptolemy I keep down at 30%. Arash needs to go a little bit higher, but not much. Quick and Buster. Ptolemy. I'll give Ptolemy this CE. I mean, that's a Buster CE for 30%. Never mind. I just need an Art Start Charge CE, even if it's not great. Fine. Fine. Okay. You aren't going to need anything, like at all. But I will give you something. Does Loki have a good overcharge? Because I haven't used Rising Mud Rain. I'm checking Loki real quickly. Because if Loki has a good overcharge, I would be willing to throw Rising Mud Rain on her since she needs no CEs. What is your overcharge? NP damage. Yeah, I'm going to give you some Rising Mud Rain. That seems like a good idea. Hold off on those supports. Okay, up here, we're starting to get back to the first sets. Something arts up. I don't really have any very good battery support here, so higher battery would be nice. That's arts up. And it looks like NP generation up too, which is probably going to be needed for this. Okay, CL. CL absolutely needs starting charge. Buster as well. And more than 30%. Actually, no, 30% would work because CL's got a 50%. I have my CL with mono loading at this point. In you absolutely need a starting charge CD. So let's go down here. I've already used the big ones, but that's not going to stop me because I can just pop, where is it at? Should be... I need to burn some CDs. There it is. 75%, and that should go up to 85% with mono loading. So I'm pretty sure I opened the mono loading. No, I did not. But not that it matters. And Blood Axe can die. He is just there for no good reason. Okay, you need a starting charge CD as well, though. How much is Ash's first battery? I want to say it's a 30%. It might be 50% though. Does she have a full 50%, 100% battery, full batteries? It is 50%. Okay. Okay, so for 50%, I only need a 50% battery. Something with Buster. And I'd rather go higher with Buster. Okay, I'm not finding anything really better here, so we're gonna... I know I saw one that was Buster, just only a 10% boost. We'll take it. Somewhere around here. There it is. Oh no, that's not it. There we go. No, that's still not it. That's a... Not the worst CE, but I would need to have a starting... I need to have a way to get my charge up, and I don't with this setup. This one works. Okay. And then I need a quick CE for you. Don't you have... No, it's Arts and Buster. Okay. No, I don't need... That's another Arts and Buster if I really needed it. That's also Arts and Buster. In fact, that's a better Arts and Buster, so I'm going to swap those around. Okay, so I just have no more quick CEs. Sweet. Nothing great anyways. I don't really need a lot of starting charge on you. Okay, that says 5% up on something else too. And then I need to look at what Ono no Komachi does. I have her NP too, so eventually I should put something into her, but... I know she's not insane like Ash and Alice are. Does she have a self-battery at all? She reduces an ally skill cooldown. That's actually nice. You get 30% out of that. Okay. I don't think I have an AoE battery on either Alice here, and I don't have first depend open, but I can get myself pretty damn close, because that's a 60% starting charge. Okay. Now, scrolling down here on some of these filler people, let's put... I ran into this a while back, but I'm going to focus on putting my support CEs on servants that are earlier in the lineup. The ones I'm actually less likely to be looking for ways to fit CEs into. I should have grabbed the U-Olga CE before starting. I did not grab it though. If we have to redo this fight at all, I'll think about grabbing it and slapping it onto someone who's in the back area. I'm not worried at all about Ruler Scotty's MP, so... I'm not worried about neither of their MPs. Okay, that's all the CEs I really need to be sticking on there, so the rest are just going to get these random grand CEs to give me the extra master experience. Let's go, Grand Berserker, Blood Axe. Nah. I'm actually not using Castoria Zerker on this setup, which is interesting that I skipped over her this time around. Right, and that does give me something to plop on Merlin, so I'm actually just, because I've used all the grand CEs now, and I've gotten all my bonus CEs on there, I'm actually, just for now, I'm going to plop him with a starting charge CE. Let's give him... I'm actually going to give him a jeweled sword. I like 60%. Okay. Did I have a cuckoo set up? I did not. I think I got rid of my cuckoo setup. I did, which is fine. It just means that when I get down to that Koyon and Merlin setups, I can fuck around with that a little bit. Actually, I've centered most of my best supports towards the end, so we'll see. I guess there's probably no wave repeating. If you go down, I'm sure you might be able to retry the wave, but you won't be able to switch your teams around because they're flexible the entire fight. So I guess I should keep that in mind. There's no redoing any of this. But we're going to give it a shot here. Okay, Ono no Komachi's not going to be able to do shit here. I should have switched my command code. No use crying over spilled milk. That is still an offensive debuff clear. Not quite a one-shotting, but... I'm actually going to keep this team in. I think... Because I've got 25 turns to do this, and they're good. Oh wait, no. Am I keeping this team in just so I can drop an Ono no Komachi MP? No. We're gonna keep things moving. That's not a terrible hand, but I'm about to reshuffle everything anyways, so. Let's just get myself a full 50 stars. I'm not popping that guts. Yes, Nadia, I'm aware of yellow button switches keys. I don't even know anything about this third round. I'm gonna see what we can do without going straight into go gambling. Fuck. Fuck. Okay, not the best. Heaven, man, and I think this is the one that's gonna work on servers, maybe. This won't pop again. Oh no, it will pop again. Yeah, I didn't do much. Okay. That's fine. But I think Cerberus is gonna pop a debuff on me. Yeah. Oh wait, I fucked up. How long does that? I need to use order change that round. Okay, we're gonna restart this. I really hope that's not going to make me reset everything. Okay, good. Because my teams, as far as I know, wasn't a problem. It was just I didn't reset the switch order immediately. This has so far been relatively easy. I just need to keep that in mind. I'm actually not a crazy huge fan of this fight. Just from what I've seen everywhere about it. It's a cool mechanic. The switching teams is a cool mechanic, and I'm sure it'll be used again at some point. But what I'm not a huge fan of with this is just it's the surprise gimmicks. Like there's zero way to really prep for this, like at all on a first run through. So it's a, if you're not the first one doing this, if you're going in blind, it's going to be miserable. If you're not going in blind, you're using a guide, unless you're the very first person to ever go do this. So it's I don't know, I'm just not a crazy big fan of it. Okay, we're gonna immediately swap out. 戦闘開始だね。得意だから気遣いはこれじゃダメだ。まだ他の道がある。どのメニューも最高ですね。お互い全力で回れ天の車輪。あの個体ですね。T.H.Eレボリューション。参加で鑑賞お手の物。今回も優勝はいただきです。ストロボの雨は華やかにカーテンコールを受け取って。I don't know that I'm gonna make a Grand Beast. I'm kind of happy with Grand Cuckoo and Grand Silver. They're my two 120s on this account. So, I don't know. It'll be nice to have in the back pocket, but I probably won't be making a Grand Beast immediately. I might prep Olga so I can make her a Grand Beast if I ever want to fuck around with that a bit. But I don't think I'm pretty satisfied not doing Grand Beast right now. Okay, so did I not have a? Oh, yeah, it's on a starting charge. Awesome. Awesome. That was dad. Okay. Dumb. Okay, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to sack around then. Probably not gonna deal that much damage. Or it's gonna do a shit ton of damage. Okay. Never underestimate the mushroom. Okay, you guys are not pulling this one off. We're at round 4. Everything except quick, that's right. And this is going to, I'm going to run with this team in particular for as many rounds as I can go with. Because this is probably going to be my hardest hitting team before the end. There's a class triangle reverse. So I can switch out if I want to, but then I'm gonna have to deal with the max HP guy. Okay. I was hoping to get Lohi cards here. I'm gonna swap them out. Because I can swap back around to Lohi if I really ever needed to. Probably not, but Lohi is in that good spot where it really came down to it. I can rely on that. We're going to just stick to the plan if it's not going swimmingly. Okay. And this guy is... Yeah. I kind of have to wait this one out. Or I go for the riders there, but there's not much I can do about that.
どうだ。なるほど。じゃあ兄任せとけって。切り抜けるとそりゃとどめといこうか。
Alright, Waver, you're gonna earn your paycheck.
簡単すぎるんだよ。すべては僕の。じゃあそいつで。大軍師の究極陣地。こいつでどうだ。突き破る。うわっ。うわっ。うわっ。これぞファロスの大灯台。なるほど。掲げるは我が胸の灯火。たぎる光を我が行く先を開け。ファロス・アレクサンドリアス。切り抜けるととどめといこうか。この場は引く。
Okay, I'm actually gonna let Waver die here because there's not really much of a point of switching out when Waver's with this team and just taking an NP on the next round.
無駄だ。簡単すぎるんだよ。うわっ。
主殿、どうか指示を。
Okay.
やるじゃん。さあごろうじろ。坂を下るぞ。いや、引きつけ構え。
ゴールデンエナジー。
There's a reason I'm doing this now.
にゃーにゃーにゃにゃにゃーにゃにゃにゃにゃ。承知。これは君に待つ夢の生産。どれほど辛い別れでも輝くものはきっとある。顔を上げて。遅い。そこをどけ。
I hope this kills. Ooh. Okay, good, it killed. Because I needed everything to be still up this next round. Okay, no popping buffs.
我が目指すはショーの首。参る。
ついてこれっかよ。カモンベイビー。ゴールデンドライブ。
Oh wait, it's buff's going into the round. It's buff's going into this attack. Damn it.
これぞ我が伝説の一つ。我が肉体は鳥のごとく皆もえない。弾道だ。発想飛び。
Oh, you need to hyper buff it to get past it.
やべ。
I might not be able to get through this part.
承知。生クラがそこをどけ。たっあっ飛び立つ前にスピンドルセットといい感じ。はい。遅い。痛いのはちょっと。いざ坂を下るぞ。いや落ちるか。お任せを。遅い。はっそこだけ。源氏の恐怖体に刻み込め。
Sir, I need you to kill Kentucky, please. But not do that. Damn it. Well, that wasn't according to plan. Fuck.
いいお酒。
いいね。最高だ。
よい。夏の女神が主情に告げる。踊りなさいな、騒ぎなさいな。すっきり。尻尾バーン。
Yeah, this probably killed my run here. I am ready for Grand Duchy, actually. Yeah, this killed my run. I'm not going to be able to clear this. Okay. I'm thinking about going... I'm going to go back. This ain't going to work. I had a chance if he didn't kill Ushi. Okay. I am going to step away to use the restroom, though. And then we're modifying it, because I know where I went wrong and what I was... with how I was reading this. So, we'll be right back, guys. Okay. So what went wrong there is I skipped. I didn't prep properly for the for 2 of those fights. The big ones were the tank. I was looking at the complete wrong class for that, and it's the tank up here at round 6, and then that caster at round 7 like took me to town because I didn't pay attention to the correct mechanic on the guide. So the way that one, the tank I can fix probably by just pulling out these 3 and swapping them for a setup with my Lancer U, with my Grand U, or with or even Castoria Zerker could probably fit in that slot pretty well and do good things. Castoria Zerker would probably be the better option too, because I haven't found a way to include her on the team, and she can immediately come out and do early stuff against round 7. Regardless, though, to clear that round, you need how many buffs? 7 offensive buffs and 3 defensive buffs. I can. I don't know how good it is, and I actually did want to go back and redo some of this from scratch, so. It also didn't take me that long to get that far. It was a very quick, a very snappy set of fights. So here's how I'm going to handle Castoria Zerker. I'm going to do Castoria Zerker. And then I'm thinking this team needs to be able to just pop buffs off is the thing. I'm gonna go Alco, because Alco does a lot of stuff too. Yep, this actually might. Yeah, and you also have MP up. And I need someone else here. If Yui had any skill levels, I think about Yui. Because Yui's great for buffs. Non-selfish would be best. Poke! We'll give that a shot. Can I give you an art? You already have an art set. Okay. That's actually probably going to be best, because then I could do both round 6 and round 7. And I'll just do what I did round 6 before, where I tried to stall it out a little bit with my archer team. Okay. We're gonna start from the top. Try 3. Round 1's pretty much a given. Or a gimme. There are things in theory I could do to make this go even smoother, but they don't really matter.
T.H.E. の神秘笑う月面こぼれ落ちて舞台は燃える共に消えてスマイルクラッドスナーク楽園の妖精の名のもとに輝ける未来を示しましょう約束された勝利の手あまたの希望は今一つに
Okay. Keeping things moving.
戦闘開始。
これだ。
得意だからこれじゃダメだ。まだ他の道がある。そう、無尽蔵。もちろん優しく私の全てを。地上の皆さん、保護か。はい、ご要望とあらば。アセットカテドラル、主よ、見つかりの車輪をここに。弾頭の刃が星のように財形を立て、カルバリア・ガルガリン。
Okay. I didn't do this last time, but something I could totally do. Well, I should have swapped out. I should have swapped out my CE. Okay, I didn't do it last time, but I can totally do this real quickly to give myself a good start. Okay, get out of here. No left there. Okay. I should have just popped the arch buff. I should have popped a lot of buffs actually. That was dumb of me. Okay. Round 4. We're anything crazy about round 4? I don't remember round 4 very well. Ah, yeah. This nothing except Quick's doing anything to this thing. Again, I'm gonna hope I have better card layout than last time for Loki going into the next round. The only thing I could do to make my chances a little better, not pop that 80% immediately. Just be more efficient. Oh, that's actually good for me. Yeah, I might be able to pull Loki into the next round. Keep Loki going for another extra round. Save my archers for a second. Not that I really need them for much, but. Oh wait, nope, berserkers are no good. Okay, we'll swap them. I'm gonna hold on to a rash though. Yeah, and this is just best to let these guys hold out as long as they can until the HP is down, so my next team can clean house quickly.
行くぜ。俺には見える。
ツーマンは優秀だな。こういうのどうだ。ツーマンは優秀だな。他にやることないの？
兄任せとけって。故障らがあれってな。突き破る。と。
Who's in my next lineup? Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to them for a second.
あ、
兄。
いや、
じゃあそいつで。
罠だ。罠だ。
こいつでどうだ。
Okay, I think I can actually knock it out in my next lineup, so I'm just gonna swap over. It doesn't really do me a lot of good to keep this lineup in now the HP is at a reasonable amount. And this lineup will be protected from an NP no matter what, so...
私にあるわけではないですが、やりますか。整理整頓してくれる？光より鋭く。聖剣ばかりではありません。手慰みですね。影？おいし見守っていてくださいませ。三千たる愛をここに今度こそ決める。合ってる。いいでしょう。今一度旧的確かと。最果ての幼いあなたへ。あなたを信じて、あなたを見上げて、今も私は走っています。胸に宿る星の鼓動、ホープビル・キャメロット。オーケストラモルドゥール、星のような輝きを。
Okay, good. I can knock it out this round.
Request に応じます。お呼び見ててくださいね。罰と思えば罰、贖いと思えば贖い。レジェンダムパーパトロヌス。そこですね。風のように。やってやるわ。
Okay, I don't know if I have enough defensive buffs. So I definitely have enough offensive buffs. Defensive buffs, though, I've got a 1. I don't know if HP regen counts as 2. 3, and then I'm going to get another one from the... I should have enough defensive buffs. Okay.
いいでしょう。開始。今一度救済の技を。神域の技までいけるか試してみる。
I think that was nullified.
最果ての幼いあなたへ。あなたを信じて、あなたを見上げて、今も私は走っています。胸に宿る星の鼓動、ホープビル・キャメロット。
It was. Wasn't enough, though. Fuck.
告げる。青を示す名において。ノット、セイン、ファイト、タイムレス、ワーク。締め上げますね。加減なし。
gonna have to do my best here. There's no way I'm gonna get my buffs back quick enough.
では座るとしますか。待ちわびていました。怒りもなく憤りもなく粛々と事をなすレジェンダムパーバトロヌス終了です。ミストルテ羽のようにもう終わり？遅い！ついてこれる？おお、私ごとに輝ける柱と共にそこで邪魔そして邪魔お願いね。サポートお願いね。青髪サイルスキャリ追加ワン、ツー、スリー悪いけどここまでよ。遅い。
I have a lot of buffs on Algo here, so it's gonna be pretty bad actually, but we'll go with it.
コズミックツアーマダン展開。赤い死が迎えに来ても発展の先に一人になってもこのシグナルはなくならない。ツアープランブルーバック私の道は私が照らすディストーション金星まで行ってこい。壊して崩して蹴り流す。
I don't really mind if he kills this team. I was kind of just trying to push this as long as I can with this team, or not as long as I can, but as far as I can.
もう一つ増やしておくか。
That's just gonna kill my NP damage. It's genuinely better to just go... How many? So I can do one thing here, I think. I did get rid of the attack debuff. Okay. Then let's... I have a Buster up right now and an extra up, so...
サポートまだ私ごとにせーのヘア邪魔そしてジャンプスターナイン悪いけど
The next round team should be able to take care of this.
遅い。この状態で不覚を取るなんて。
ああ、こんにゃくの言うさ。今はそういう気分なんだ。
愉快。
What's after this guy? I know there's a pretty annoying one coming up. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna need this.
ターンを上げる特別に
No reason not to do this. Okay.
よい。そうなの？ハト！ 尻尾バーンなんの
Okay. I'm not screwed yet. I'll say that. I'm not screwed yet.
バン
ほっ飛ばせ我が手の剣我がへえ悪いんだそうなの解き放つ夏が来たりてかぎろい揺れて雨が来たりて命が騒ぐ息吹の御霊八脈怒涛
Okay, please no archers. Thank you. There is one problematic enemy there, though.
絶に起動我が前に立ちはだかるすべて地に伏せよ渾身発揮怒涛
Okay. I believe wave 9 single target, isn't it? In theory. I don't hate that idea. Because the thing is, you want to have all your buffs down as early as possible. Oh no, Draco's going to be... it's going to be a resistant issue. Okay. I just need to get to Olga as fast as I can.
清き水よたゆたり流れ海へと怒りで星をなせ絶に発揮怒涛せーい行くぞへっやーやーなんの
It ain't gonna be a pretty wave. Okay, this ain't gonna work if I don't go in for the kill this round. So, I'm not gonna hold out here because it's gonna take me at least 2 more rounds for this. And I need to give myself time to fight actual U-Olga. That said, it's not over. Because these are only 1-round buffs. So I just have to last out 1 round and then I can nuke it the next round usually. So I'm just gonna let it stack these all up this round. And then I'm just gonna let that sit there for 1 round. I am going to be pushing it on... I'm going to make it to Stellar Olga. I don't know if I'm going to beat Stellar Olga, though, because I don't remember... Basically, I'm going to be RNGing Stellar Olga for a bit. Wow, that didn't do enough damage at all. Yeah, I'm fucked.
心
I've
だ
already lost
喜
this.
ばせろ。
少し痛いぞこの幹部は興味深い術こ
わよ望みを声にせよ。世の行く手が阻めぬ。はっロササウィス獣の指揮官よ。恨み晴らさでおくべきか。聞かぬさあよかろう。燃えよデイバロンドムス・アウレアよ。砕けラウスティラのクラウディウス。我が情熱は豪華のごとく。ロササウディス歌いインビディア。勝手の違いを見せてやろう。この姿で敗れるとは。女神モード降臨。たっぷり性能を披露するといたしましょう。
Oh, that just took me back here.
さてどう
Yeah, there's nothing I can do at this point. I'm fucked at this point. Is that just gonna take me back to the... Yeah, I saw. Okay, at least that's intelligently made. But it'll start me here and then... It's this node where this just fucked me over. It's not necessarily this node. I could easily beat this node, but I need to set up a Castoria, Talamo, and then like to take out Caster. I need to be Castoria, Talamo, and do I even have a rider that's capable of doing that right now? No, I'd have to have the double Scotty. That wouldn't work because you need certain types of buffs, but I would need Castoria, Talamo. Do I have a single target arts rider? I don't. Yeah. And of course there's the Avenger there. Can't really do anything about that Avenger easily. I think, I hate to say it, I'm gonna call it here, I think. I don't know, like, I'm not really seeing a way through this with my current setup. Because those walls are just too big of walls for my account to get over right now, I think. I don't have any gacha currency, maybe, and I'm not spending money on that right now. Yeah. I mean, with enough time, I'm gonna mute the music here. With enough time, I'm sure it's easily possible. But, like, if I'm gonna go into my inventory here, the problem with these Olga fights, and this is my opinion, and I ranted about this a little in the Discord after the last one, is they are going to heavily favor players who've had time to level pretty much everybody, or whales. Now, if your account's not your, like, even my NA account, which I've put the most amount of time into between these two accounts, I haven't leveled everybody. Now, my NA account could probably do this, actually. because my NA account's a lot better, just has had a lot more time put into it. But I've not been inactive on my JP account. I have a lot of servants leveled, but there's just keyholes I'm missing. Like Ryder, I've only got Ushi. I didn't do Grand Ushi this time because I wanted to do Grand Ushi on both accounts. I did Grand Ushi because this entire time I played the game, I haven't pulled a single 5-star Rider. And the 4-star Riders I have... I did pull Aussie recently. I did pull an Aussie recently. But Aussie needs the Koyons to work, and I kind of need them. I kind of need them for later setups. If I go down here, rider-wise, that's what I'm working with. Kentoki's the only single target rider I've really got. Maybe if I go down here to my unleveled servants, maybe. I don't remember anything. Yeah, none of this really stands out in my unleveled servants. So like something like that caster fight is a hard wall, and the Olga fights in general are, I'd say they're a harder wall than Ort as far as progression goes. Which is crazy that they tie actual story elements behind these Olga fights. Like, I don't know if they're going to address the Olga fights or if you can get to the finale without clearing the Olga fights. But they are ridiculous walls. Like, I know there's a lot of positivity around the Olga fights if you go into, like, the Minturn crew. The Smobcast I've seen really loves these Olga fights. And I get it. Their entire, like, channels, their content, the way they play heavily favors the particulars of having as many servants as possible leveled. But FGO does have a lot of systems that doesn't necessarily encourage that, and if you weren't around for a lot of these, like, double EXP campaigns on all servants. They've had to up those lately, and I've been taking advantage of them as some as I can. But like, these fights are hard walls for a lot of players, I think. Now, it's thankfully not walling off any content at the moment. It's just walling off major story elements. But I do think it's a little bit overtuned. I just do. Yeah. I'll give it another attempt probably as we get closer to the finale, I think. And maybe my grands being set up by then will give me some slight extra power because a lot of those servants will have plus 1,000. And maybe I'll have better servants to take care of some of these things. But like, it's just not going to be like, is it going to really be fun to see me just continuously slam my head against this wall that if my account can clear it, it'll be just barely? I'm not even making it to the Stellar Olga fight, which is a full boss fight, by the way. And you want to have at least, what, like 4 or 5 rounds for buffer in case you can't hit her with the right card type? It's... I don't know, like, I kind of hate these Olga fights. I really do. So yeah. At least I got to show you guys the gauntlet. I didn't even make it. I feel bad. I didn't even make it to Stellar Olga, but I don't really see a way for me to do it this time. Not unless I get, like, remarkably lucky. I don't know. I feel bad. I don't want to poo-poo FGO like this, because it's a cool fight. It's cool mechanics. Mechanically, it's pretty cool. But I just think it's a little too difficult for even players that are reaching this account. Like, even like a few years old, if your account's a few years old, like mine is here, it's too difficult. My NA, I'm not going to complain about this fight when I get to NA most likely, because I'll probably be able to beat this fight. Yeah, I feel like around the time FGO's finale starts releasing, it will be important that Lasengel drops some kind of some kind of balancing thing for the Olga fights, whether that be an easy mode or the ability to drop the cubes on them. Because otherwise, you have players that are locked out of like. And I I know what story comes out of the Stellar Olga fight. This is important ass story, either for the finale of FGO or possibly even beyond FGO Part 2. It's not minor stuff they're putting behind this. No, the Grands don't do it. You can't use the Grands. The Grands don't activate in the E-Olga fights. It'd be cool. I actually think it'd be really cool if they activated during the E-Olga fights, but they don't. I guess that's a way you could do it. If you want like the fun way, you can balance these fights, apply an easy mode where all the grand effects take place. But I think for many players that aren't like years 1 to maybe 3 or 4, the Olga fights, all 4 of them together, not just one of them, because I think most accounts will be able to clear at least one of these. Especially that first one. That first one's not that bad if you just have a good general account with like the traditionally reliable supports. And the second one's clearable if you know which free-to-play units are level. But everything else is like you need to be leveling pretty much anything you can get, or you need to have the specific correct servants to get them to complete it. So, yeah, there needs to be some kind of balancing thing if they're like just because of how much story they've put into these Olga fights. I'm not even mad that they locked the beasts behind them, to be honest. Like, oh, I just lost my. I'm not really mad that they locked the beast grand behind them. If it was just the beast grand, I wasn't gonna grand a beast anyways. But it's the story. Like, I'm sitting in from a spot of like, if I got to this point on NA and I have the same problem, I'm gonna feel real mad that I can't get through the story. Oh yeah, rip Draco and Aresh fans for sure. But I'd feel real mad if I couldn't actually read the rest of the story. This is where Seki's account's going to be, by the way. There's almost no chance she's going to be able to beat these fights. But I'd be real mad if I couldn't get through these stories because they decided to make these fights some of the hardest fights in the game with mechanics that are kind of abstract for what the rest of the game is. Yeah, it's going to be what we have to do. I'll be honest, Rick, I don't hate the idea of fights being this hard. Like, it'd be cool to have a fight this hard as a challenge quest. I couldn't beat the Witch on the Holy Knights final challenge quest, that event. And that's a cool challenge quest. I wasn't mad I couldn't beat that. Because it's completely optional. The only thing it's locking behind you is a little bit of extra mats. Even if it was a command code or something, I wouldn't be mad. I'm not even mad about Grand Beast. The story, though, is just... It's not right to lock important story elements behind a fight that rough. Or if they... Hopefully they don't lock the finale behind a fight that rough. Where I'd love to see these kind of things are, in A, the challenge quests, and B... I've always had the idea that if they were going to implement story replay, what they should do to make it more general than just being fun for content creators or people who like to reread shit like I do, if they wanted to implement that, the best thing they could do is implement a hard mode where they rebalance, where they say up the HP on a lot of the fights, add break bars to part 1, and rebalance the boss fights to be much closer to challenge quests, even the ones that were normally easier. So it's... And that's where you can introduce something like this. That could be really cool. Yeah. I think the turn limits also are what makes this fight and the previous Olga fight irritating. It is entirely the turn limits. If those turn limits weren't there, who comes out next? It would be E-Olga. I would have to survive one round with E-Olga, and then I can tank another at least 100k damage, if not more, against that boss we were fighting. And then E-Olga probably carries me at least through a little bit, and then supposedly Master and Solo Stellar Olga. It's the turn limits, though. The turn limits are what's cruel to players that don't have accounts set up for mid-turns. Because A, if your account's not leveling everything, you just aren't going to have the units to beat every single challenge easily. And which means you're taking more rounds to get there. And B, you're just... Like, Seki's brain is not going to be hardwired at that point to even think about how to clear some of those harder parts like as fast as possible, or knowing all the different trait damages you can hit with. It's doing too much, and then asking the player to be too fast for what I think the bulk of the player base is capable of, or is used to. I've never seen the Dokkan Festival battles. My brothers played it for a bit. I never heard about that one though. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to feel about the Olgas too much. They are cool fights. They are cool fights. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Grand Duel. The Grand Duel will be fun. You know, maybe I'll be able to beat Olga eventually. My account got stalled out on the second Olga fight for a long time because I didn't have the mats to get all my Asclepius stuff up, and I was very limited on supports when I first got there. But I eventually was able to do it. Third Olga fight, well, I knew I could do the third Olga fight. That's why I wasn't ending the stream after the last run on the Olga fight, because I knew it was beatable with where I was at. I think the third Olga fight was just going to be a matter of how many times did it take me to retry that. And I did have to retry it once or twice more after I played it on my own time. But it was that maintenance is what stopped me from winning that stream. This stream, like, I'm sitting here and I'm feeling hardwall. I am feeling hardwall. Which is funny, because I think it's pretty indicative of where the way, because I'm referencing Smobcast here a lot because they're the ones I hear glaze up the Olga fights the most. It's indicative that they think the third one is harder than the fourth one. Because having played them all now, I think the fourth one is significantly rougher than number 3. But the reason number 3 feels a lot less rough for them, or feels a lot more rough for them, is because there are a few more RNG elements to 3. Or not necessarily RNG. RNG is a bad word, I mean, for that. Like, sure, what cards you get makes a difference in that Olga fight, but I'm sure it does once you hit the actual Stellar Olga in here. What I mean by that is you can do runs of that, and the mechanics are consistent throughout. So it's more about like whether or not Olga crits, for example, which horns you hit. There's a lot more you have to do into that other than traditional FGO team building. Whereas this one and the first 2 Olga fights are all team building. There's the second one, there's strategizing involved. Team building is where the first, second, and the final one get you. And yes, there's individual ways to cheese every single wave, but the chances you have at having all those are minimal unless you're whales, like the Smobcast guys are. You play enough to have everything grinded up, like the Smobcast guys more or less do. And you're min-turn minded to beat the turn limit, like the Smobcast guys are. It's not a knock on them. I respect the way they play, but I don't think the majority of the player base is going to share their opinion that 3 was harder than 4. Yeah, and the turn limits. The turn limits make both the final 2 fights more irritating. Because if you're sinking a lot of time into it, you're not going to know how badly you were screwed out by the earlier rounds until you hit those later rounds. And if you're so badly screwed by those earlier rounds, when you hit those later rounds, you have to go all the way back to the earlier rounds. You just wasted hours upon hours of your time because of those turn limits. Whereas in the other ones, there are ways you can wiggle out, or you can actually hold off on continuing until you have better units to pull out. So like say, oh, I can't beat Olga 1. I got stuck in the final wave. Well, I'm missing these key supports. I could develop the servant I brought to fight the Olga fight more, like grail them maybe. And that's what I did to beat it the first in the JP account. That's when I grailed my Castoria Zerker, actually. You can do more development and come back. That's not necessarily going to help for this Olga fight and then the previous one, because ultimately you need is so many turns available, and unless you have the exact number of turns and teams left to min turn it where you start, you're fucked. I also don't think it would be as bad if they actually allowed you to blue cube these. If they allowed you to blue cube it and revive on these. Because, sure, I mean, yes, you probably could cheese an extra wave by command sealing. Like, I didn't drop a single command seal here, or I think I might have dropped it in my final run of the previous U-Olga, I can't remember. But if you command seal it, you probably have a better chance at clearing a specific wave. But then you have to consider what you're going to do with the next wave. And you can't really know that. So if they had added the ability to blue cube these Olga fights, that would be a little bit more forgiving in my opinion. Or if you could triple command seal it. I don't like that they lock you out of. I don't like it when they lock you out of triple command sealing and Nahui McBlon either, actually. I do think it's very unfriendly to more casual players. Granted, Nahui McBlon you can still blue cube, but when you lock players out of being able to blue cube or triple seal, that's when you start seeing content walls. So yeah, I don't know. I hate to be like the to make the complaint too hard, because like, yeah, obviously you always can come back. Like, you just need to get good or actually invest in your FGO account. But like, I can't say I haven't invested in my FGO account. I know the mechanics of FGO at a relatively like passable level, I'd say. I hope, at least. I like to think. I feel like I'm at least somewhat indicative of what the general player base is going to be at. I don't think making content like this necessarily pushes the general player base to playing at a higher level, because I don't think the general player base is largely equipped to play at a higher level, unless their account's that old, where they've had time to just casually get into there. I just think I think the vast majority of players are just going to have to miss this story or read it online, and we know that Lysenko tried to kibosh story-related spoilers online not that long ago, so clearly they don't want us doing that. So I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could have ended the stream beating that and being relative. I was kind of hoping that the Smob guys were right, that this was the easiest of them. But yeah, they're kind of it's kind of one of those min-turn brain rot moments, I think. Well, I'm dunking on them, I guess. I do think that the min-turn brain rot is actually a real thing. It's just that it's because I've heard them like in their collabs with Mist for the tier list. They often push back against that idea because min-turn. If you're playing min-turn, you're playing the most efficient way in the game. Like the best strat servants are the ones that can do min-turns well. But I do think it's a real thing, not necessarily in terms of what servants are good, such as I don't have as much of a problem with the tier list, but in terms of what you're capable of. The best way I can put it is, say you're talking a strategy that's unequivocally good. Let's go to the Immortal comp, for example. Jump to the Immortal comp. If you want to say the Immortal comp's be all end all because it'll beat every fight in the game. Morgan, Castoria, Merlin, or Himiko, Castoria, Merlin, or I think now who also works for it is Trung Sisters, Castoria, Proto Merlin. Those comps can be as incredible as you think they are, but how good are those individual pieces really when you don't pull them all together? They can be good on their own, but outside of Castoria, are they all top tier? Not really. And I feel that way a lot about Minturn servants. Like, there are some servants that are great, but separate them from the context of the correct team building or from the circumstance that you're trying to use them in, whether that be like an unnecessarily complex solo or like heavy restrictions on yourself to begin with. How much would you actually recommend that unit to a new or to a player to roll on limited funds, limited courts, limited time to grind? Versus, oh, yeah, get yourself a Castoria and a good General Arts Looper, and a Koyanskaya Oberon and a good General Buster Looper, and like a good boss fight servant or two. You can recommend those kinds of things as being like high priorities because the general player will be able to pick it up, make use of it, and you don't have to have high levels of game understanding and high levels of time and research to make that work really well. Because FGO is not a competitive game. The ability to, like, half of why people value 3-turn looping isn't because, like, 3-turn looping single core, isn't because it's necessarily always the easiest way to clear things, but it's the most convenient way to clear things. It's the least amount of resistance for the most amount of reward. Which is why it's still recommended for a lot of players to do 90 plus instead of 90 plus if you're not able to determine a multi-core comp. That's my opinion on like the idea of the meta with FGO, at least, though. I do think, depending on how you're playing the game, you're often going to overvalue one aspect of the meta versus another. I do think that's like jumping over to getting off the Smob guys and dogpiling on another topic here. Game Press, for example. I don't know how they're doing now, but for the longest time, the Game Press tier lists were very, very heavily weighted in favor of just AoE Arts and Buster farming. Like, if you weren't a farmer and you weren't Arts or Buster, you were terrible. And go further back, and if you weren't quick, you were terrible in their eyes, because they were really only looking at farming. But also I kind of get that too, because in a farming setup, they're guide makers. They want to clear content as quickly as possible, which includes all of the events and farming those event shops out with limited time and the minimum amount of AP needed. So I just think the discussion on FGO meta and what's balanced gameplay often gets lost with individual people's playstyles, and not playstyles like in the I like to prefer Arts, I prefer Buster, I prefer quick playstyles in the I need to take things slower because of the units I have, or I want to go as fast as possible, or I'm going to make this team that'll be able to clear everything by using the right pieces at the right times. Those kinds of playstyles don't always mesh together in the same content, and I think that's where a lot of the difficulty of balancing FGO probably comes from. Now I've just been ranting about FGO meta for a while, because I think it's a fair thing to rant about when we're talking Bleach Nerf. You know, fuck it. I'm going to move off of meta, but I'm still going to rant, because I did drop this in the Discord. I have hated Ordeal Call, not because it's stalling out stories. Actually, from what I understand, it is good. I'm not going to act like Paper Moon won't not Paper Moon, up here, I'm going to have Olga circle it. Fuck, what is it called? It's been a minute. I'm probably going to be fan serviced by the Moon Cancer Ordeal Call. Archetype Inception. I'm going to be fan serviced by Archetype Inception, because at this point I've experienced everything that crosses over into it. And I've heard Trinity Metatronus' story is really good. So story-wise, like, I don't mind that they stalled out. It's probably given Nasa a good chance to wrap up loose ends that maybe wouldn't have been wrapped up otherwise. But gameplay-wise, I feel like Ordeal Call has been horribly bad. Like, I think It's entirely these things down here. The storm pods. Storm pods are annoying. Like, I have never kept up on storm pods on JP. NA, I have actually consistently done my best to keep up on storm pods, but it's tiring. It makes me want to grind at FGO less, because before, the way I would play is I would open up FGO when I had time and patience. I would grind out FGO as much as I could when I had the energy to do it. Because of the storm pods locking the class scores, if you are on top of your storm pods, you're going to be behind everybody else. And there's no way to catch up by just putting in more time. Like making up time using apples or grinding just that little bit extra than you would otherwise. Because the storm pods completely lock you out of the content. During events, this is a huge issue. Because now you need to grind not only the event stories, the event missions, you also need to grind the Bleached Earth missions. You need to find time to do both sets of grinding. And then if I need to grind, say, EXPs, I'm less likely to grind EXPs now because I'm focusing too much of my time and AP on clearing storm pods every day. So I can't just do a run of, oh, I have 40 or I have 120 AP in the afternoon and I have free time. I'll run three EXP clearing nodes. I can stock up on some EXPs. I'm not doing that anymore. And I blame the storm pods, really. Ooh. I also think that then other Ordeal Call gameplay mechanics I'm just not a huge fan of. I love the Grand Raids. I love them. But the storm pod requirement for them after the raid period is over is actual horseshit for the amount of time you need to grind each and every one of them. Even to just get the minimum amount of your class tree filled. Like, I'm not even talking using them to try getting a Bond 10 servant, because there's other ways to get Bond 10. Just have a servant long enough and eventually get Bond 15. And that'll speed up Bond for other servants. And they've been doing a good job addressing the Bond issue. But clearing the class scores takes forever, even with the free storm pod requirements on these. The fact that you need the storm pods to play this means that if you're not catching these at the launch, you are going to be spending upwards of, if I'm not wrong, by the later ones, like if I go to here, I'm going this off memory, by the way. Oh no, that's not here. I'm bringing up this all off memory. I believe it would always take me a full set of AP to get these last outer ring ones here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you can only do effectively 1 AP bar per day of these, to do 8 of them, it's going to take you 8 full days of only doing this to get those 4 minimum. Not counting everything else, which does take time. And you can't start on the highest level. So forget the 8 days, that's only at the highest level. Let's go into here. You have, in terms of levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you need to first take 7 days to get to the top one. And you still, telling you right now, you're not going to have all of the pieces you need to get straight to those outer rings. You'll at max have like 3 or 4 of those finished. So you might not even be able to play that final unless you have a really good comp. So spend another 3 days, 10. About, it takes you half a month of grinding to do 1 grand score. Multiply that by 9. So half a month. So it's gonna take the average player, if they're putting all their storm pods into here and not into the Bleached Earth quests, a third of a year to do all the grands that they aren't immediately caught up already, to max out their grand class score. Now my math could be wrong. There was no hard math in there at all, but that's just my general memory and off calculations of doing these raids. Because I actually stopped the grand raids relatively early on one of them. I think it was 2, because I wasn't worried about grinding out my Kukulkan's bond as much. And yes, I managed to do that in about 30 some odd runs. It took me to do that, which is not long, I guess, but I don't know. It takes you a hot minute. It's going to take new players a hot minute to actually make any progress on grand raids. So unless they're, again, already caught up, they're fucked. I'd have similar opinions on Ort if Ort weren't cheesable with just maxing out your match, which all players should probably do anyways. There's one more thing that grinds my gears about FGO's current favor, like not favor, but current walling setups. And gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, yeah, class scores themselves. Oh, yeah, I've lost signal there for a second for some reason. Oh, that's class score resets. The class scores themselves. Because this is where I felt it. I, in this account, have not been able to touch class scores at all. And on NA, I haven't touched class scores much yet, but out of choice, because I'm focusing on getting my last few servants leveled, because I'm so close anyways. I'd like to put all the mats I have towards that. Here, though, I haven't really been able to put much into these class scores. Because, oh yeah, my foreigner's unlocked. That's actually nice that I have foreigner unlocked now. That'll make grinding easier with Cuckoo. But class score here, I can't really put much into it because I kind of need these mats because I'm not loaded on mats because I did not play every event so far and I don't have most of the units I want to use already maxed out. I've still got to be focusing on leveling my units. I understand that there's like this is late game content for late game players, but the problem is this isn't late game content for late game players, all of these elements together. If it was one of these things, it'd be fine. But it's all of these things on top of each other that creates a situation where it's late game content for players who've been in the late game for the last 5 years. Because if you're like my account's a late game account, it's not able to keep up with all this content though. Because I'm not caught up on leveling all my servants. I'm not in a place where I can push catching up on all my servants because there's still new servants coming out. Yeah, Nady's got my point exactly right. It takes weeks to complete a grand if you're not caught up when they come out. Now, in the future, they could easily fix this. Like, I actually think, the best way they can make that grand, like, stepping back here. How would I fix each of these elements if they're not just abandoning the app after part 2? First of all, I talked about U-Olga enough. Do something with it, like either make the grands actually become grands during the U-Olga fights, allow blue cube usage, easy mode or something that eliminates the turn restrictions or lowers the HP on these enemies. Stuff like that you could do to make the U-Olga fights more accessible to players that have less established accounts or accounts that aren't like years 1 to 4. Grand duels, easy one actually. And this is one I actually think they might do. Like, look at what they did with the U-Olga thing. You missed those first 3 weeks, guess what? They reopened it again for another week after this event was over. I think best way you go about the grand duels, every anniversary, you just reopen all of the grand duel free storm pod requirements. Let players go crazy. It becomes a huge raid event every anniversary or downloads campaign. If you did that, gave players multiple times a year where they can grind them out unlimited, that's actually a really cool community experience, I think. Class score. Class score is the rough one. Honestly, they've been trying to address this because they've refreshed Pure Prisms. They've, yeah, really, that's what they've been doing. It's just been refreshing Pure Prisms. I think The only way this gets fixed is like grindable or like event based event reset like selling reset tickets in event shops like once an event every once in a while, and making pure prisms a grindable resource daily. Like really, I understand why you wouldn't want to do that, because then it eliminates the need to do any of the grinding nodes. But I don't really see any other way with the amount of mats you need to do anything with the class scores. Mind you, by the way, you need the class scores. The class scores are separate from the grand scores. So I guess at the very least they've made it so that storm pods every day can be chunked out for dust. I don't really know how you fix the dust problem. Maybe, I don't know. You'd have to add a viable dust or something, but that's at least how I think it would have to be fixed. Yeah. I have any like last minute grinding my gears on these FGO mechanics, because they've done a lot better with some things. Like getting all the welfares is nice. I think this isn't this isn't something that I'm like stewing on and I'm mad at FGO for doing, but more like a FGO probably needs to do this sooner rather than later. They need to start bringing back older events and have at least the stories available, even if it's just in the My Room. Or ideally add them as playable side stories in main interlude, or have a separate tab for the ones that aren't really main interlude worthy. Because as we get further and further into the game, if you are not a year one player, you have to go onto YouTube if you want to be caught up on some of these ongoing plot lines. Like Gouda Gouda actually has a relatively ongoing plot line. Like, it's not every event references every previous event, but they do. Like, usually you'll have one event for Gouda Gouda, and then a few years later there's a follow-up to it, and a few years later there's a follow-up to the follow-up, and they do intertwine over time, and the characters are so recurring. You do need those Gouda Goudas in the shop, and I feel similarly about some of the Halloween. Like, you can't read Halloween 2 and 3, which has the Castle Shizet Pyramid, Himeji Castle Shizet Pyramid, or whatever the full name of that was called. Which they reference that so often. If you're a newer player, you're not gonna understand that at all, unless you like look up trivia or go and look up the event synopsis or read it online. And I don't think it's sort of like the FGO numbers not being anywhere in the game, or traits being nowhere in the game for the enemies being an issue. That it's cited like that. It's kind of like that, but for the stories, you have to go to outside resources to understand ongoing story material. Yeah, I understand that. They did introduce in the Pure Prism shop the reset tickets, and I'll be honest here, the Pure Prisms are the problem for me right now, not the reset tickets. I've actually got a decent number of reset tickets at this point, because they've been pretty. I got 12 of these fuckers, and I've only ever used up all of my caster statues, which I don't really need them anymore. I'm not hurting for caster statues anymore, probably because I can just go do the Liz quest on the Bleacher if I'm really hurting for them. But it's just a matter of I don't want to blow all my Pure Prisms on the shop. Yeah, do what they did with Prism Tower. Honestly, I think all of the events should have a separate tab or something. Yeah, they need to be a little bit better about Pure. They need to find a more consistent way of getting us Pure Prisms. Right now, they've done two things: the events, you get them every time you clear an event chapter or an event node in the story, a pip even, you get a Pure Prism. So it doesn't incentivize you to play events, but we only get an event at max once every 3 weeks. Usually not that often either. Usually it's more like once every. You have 3 out of 5 to 6 weeks you have an event. and that's not counting when they drop other stuff that doesn't give you pure prisms. And then they've also done 2 campaigns so far where they've doubled the pure prism drops. So in the story, there's the initial one we have in NA. Next anniversary in NA, they're going to drop a full pure prism doubling, or they're just going to dump a shit ton of pure prisms on us. Was it next anniversary, or is it one? It might have been a downloads campaign actually. Either way, and then this anniversary, they dropped another one of those refreshes on us. So they are trying to get us more pure prisms, but the problem with why the pure prisms are so important now versus early in FGO is there are just too many mats now. If you were not grinding hard enough in early FGO to not need to grind out those old mats pretty much ever, which requires you play like a lot of the lottos, you needed to be efficient about grinding your AP prior and clearing out the shops, then you're most likely going to be hurting on mats in the late game when the mats you need are cycled into shops and events a lot less. They're not in the lottos as often. You're not getting them as often in daily logins, and you have to split your pure prisms and grinding time between grinding different mats. The raw amount of mats in FGO, because it's a 10-year-old game and we get a new mat every single chapter, it's why mat hell sucks right now, and why pure prisms are basically required. Not ignoring the fact that it's also you need to use pure prisms in the early game if you're a brand new account. Like my account probably wouldn't be hurting for pure prisms as much on JP if I was playing. And this is another thing where old players are advantaged. Old players built up their stocks of servants before they got pure prisms. So even if you were like my account now is probably where my account was in NA when the pure prisms dropped for the first time, and then I blew all of my pure prisms in NA on catching up my account to everything else. So if your account needs to use pure prisms as a launching off point because you rolled one of the now majority of the servants whose mounts are not available in part 1 grinding quests while casually playing through part 1 story like Seki is dealing with right now, the only way you're getting to level your skills and leveling your and ascending your servants is through pure prisms, unless you get really lucky on events, but you can't play the events unless you level the servants, and the best servants tend to be, while there are older servants that are still good, the best ones for farming tend to be the newer ones. So, if you're a newer player, you're not spending pure prisms to level up more servants. You're spending pure prisms to level up your initial servants. So once you're getting around where my account is right now, even, you're going to have to be pickier and choosier about what servants you're leveling because you don't have the pure prisms for it. I'm not even really concerned about this on a personal level. I'm actually not. Because I'm going to be honest with you, this account, like, JP, I'm complaining about how Olga locked you out of story. This isn't my story account. I don't read story on JP. I didn't care that much when not having cleared one of the Olga quests locked me out of, like, the full context of the Samurai Remnant event, for example. But I guess it's the story side of that's more in concept that pisses me off. Where it pisses me off gameplay wise is the gap it's creating in terms of what players can actually do. Because now no longer just you have to be good at FGO to clear the highest hurdles in the game. You can't. It's no longer as simple as if you borrow this servant, you can probably do it if you have a few general servants that do this relative thing. You just need to know who to borrow. You need to have an account that is truly established, truly like old and good. And a lot of these mechanics reward players with old accounts and like fully established accounts by increasing the ability gap. Which just becomes another thing for newer players to have to catch up on. just to tweak an already existing mechanic, make so that daily mat tickets give all 5 mats instead of making you pick on 5. That would be nice, Dakota Doyle. That would. I kind of agree that that would probably be good. Honestly, I think there should also, besides just the daily mat tickets, like that's a good idea. Another thing you could potentially do is daily pure prisms. So if you do your dailies, like you do 3 runs of something, you get 3 to 9 pure prisms. So you're not getting, it's not like they're grindable like eternally. Like you can't just go into a farming yard and grind out pure prisms and nothing else. You're only getting at max 3 of any given mat with that a day. But that also keeps you getting mats consistently. It doesn't feel like grinding out on your preferred node was a waste of time if you get even 1 pure prism for alongside those 3 tickets. Now you've gotten a full mat out of a day's grind. And if you do, I honestly think the balance should actually be 3 pure prisms per run for 3 times a day. Because then you're getting 3 mats, which really, really pushes you along. Or on the lower rarity mats, you can get them higher much quicker. You can increase the drop rate of class gems. Like I actually think you should introduce a 90++ node on the training grounds. Just generally, so that you can get those drops a lot better. But I don't know. I don't know if that's required if you make pure prisms a lot like extremely plentiful, and just be like something you can grind out like once a day. Okay, I'm gonna sapling the rest of my AP since I'm not using it, and I need those apples for grand raids. I'm actually, this is like the first time I'm feeling the apples starting to deplete on any account. I've only got 254 apples left on NA, or on JP. I like had at one point like 400, 500 apples on this account. And grand rates have me that low. I'm actually sitting here like, am I going to have enough apples to clear the remaining 3 grand rates? I will. I should. Oh, how many times did I run, the one I was the least, like, prepped for was Lancer. Everything else I was at, like, Bond 6. 128 times! So if I grinded that 128 times, divide that by 3, about 40 gold apples, give or take, plus daily reset. So I'll have enough apples to clear the rest of the grand raids. But I won't be. It is eating through my apples. I'll give grand raids that they're really good at like. If they didn't have the storm pod requirement, I understand why they have the storm pod requirement on the grand raids for mat reasons. Same reason they can't just put everything into pure prisms. Because if you were to be able to do the grand raids eternally, the amount of like the mat drops on those grand raids are just better than any nodes you could do. Even a dedicated node for a specific mat, I'm getting it more often than that. And gems are nice. Like anything that there's been a grand raid for, I'm not hurting that badly on. I'm actually really looking forward to the caster grand raid because maybe I can finally level some of those support casters that I've been stuck on since I got a bunch in a row. Like Waver and Talmo, and I have an NP2 Onono Kamachi I would love to level the skills on. And then Yui, I've been sitting on for a minute. I want to level Yui's skills. I love Yui. Okay. Then my first 4-star, I can't even level her. I haven't even leveled her skills once on this account. That's sad. That's sad. Whereas, like, I've actually bolstered my ranks in the classes that have had good grand rates already. There's some things like this where like the extras the one I did the least on because they require the most just general mats, some of which are in the grand raid, some of which weren't. But I'm pretty sure that by the end of the grand raids we'll have all the mats in there. Would also be nice to be able to do these guys because I like using Chibihika. I love their playstyle because it's like a slightly different version of playing Logi. Art type Earth I need to level. Honestly, I don't think I'll be able to level to get enough mats out of the grand raids to level all the caster gems I need. Get them from story chapter free quests too. Okay, good to know. I'm not caught quite. I'm actually a little bit behind on those on both accounts now. Actually, in JP, I haven't done. I've not finished up my Archetype Inception, and Trinity Metatronus I still need to do. There's also just a lot of one-off challenge fights that I still need to do. I do love that there's these tickets here. If I ever need to get a summon, I'll think about doing those. Yeah, okay. Let's quickly log into NA while I'm sitting here. I don't want to do my Duolingo right now, Duolingo. I want to log into... Oh! Maintenance in progress. Okay. Guess we're not logging into FGO NA. Alright, well, I think... we are about where we're going to be for this stream. I'll move us to just chatting for just a few... I probably should have done that a while ago, but I need to pull my phone off the... I know, I'm just going to be plugging this into my work computer anyways, so... That's annoying I don't have access to the thing. Yeah, Wangina event starts tomorrow. I forgot. I knew the broadcast for that event was earlier today. I just forgot about that it was starting tomorrow. Okay. Oh, actually, I'll probably grind it tomorrow, to be honest. So what are we looking at now? Now that we're done with the U-Olga quest, or we've played them all on stream at this point. Next, coming up, so later this week, you actually have 2 streams left this week. One from Seki, one technically from Vorn. Seki's going to be playing Witcher 2 Friday morning, and Friday evening, Vorn will be streaming Seki and his co-op game of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm heavily advising y'all tune in. Having seen Seki and Vorn go through D&D together, you guys will be in for a treat if you take the time to tune in and play that or watch them play that. Those two are like oil and water sometimes with D&D. They bicker, and it's kind of funny. I tried to convince everybody involved that they should get Realm in the first stream, and then have him just never appear again, or just inconsistently appear again, just to replicate the true The Anime Club D&D experience, but no one bit. I don't remember if there's ever been a co-op Baldur's Gate stream. It's definitely not Seki and Vorn, because Seki and Vorn are starting up a new account, I'm pretty sure. But this is going to be actually... There's going to be bickering, and it's kind of funny. As for next week, Tacos, I did see you mention next week Grand Rider is happening. Grand Rider should be starting... I want to say it's starting... So it's weird. Let me take a look at when the event's going, because I want to say it's going to start 1 week into the event, because there's an event for FGO2 that's going to introduce the Grand Rider servant, which everyone is pretty damn sure is going to be Noah. That event starting, it looks like the 5th or the 6th, so this Friday, meaning the Grand itself, I believe the Grand ends on the 16th based off of sorry, I'm brain farting here. Based off of the banners. So chances are Grand is starting up on the 9th or 10th. Yes, I'll have another thing to add to updates. That's probably when you're seeing the Grand start is the 9th or 10th. I don't know. Like, it'd be fun to just chill and do some grinding. If I have time, I'll chill and do some grinding, but I'm not going to pre-plan it. Because grinding is different, and I don't know how grinding, consistent grinding is going to go for me. Let me see how how miserable I am doing Ushi Wakamaru, because I'm not getting any trait damage out of Ushi Wakamaru, let me tell you. So the wrong type of Grand Raid could really fuck me over. So we'll see. Grand Rider was tomorrow? No. There's actually going to be an event leading into this Grand Raid, to my understanding. There's we know the event bonus servants, and that stream is tomorrow. So we'll learn what the grand servant is. But yeah, streaming wise, I wouldn't mind doing a grinding stream, but I need to see how tolerant or how fun it actually is to grind. If it were the Bactoria Grand Raid, if I had time during when that dropped, that actually would have been pretty fun to chill stream over, because I could have put on some reacted to some fake community video, or put on just chilled with stream or something, or just sat in the Discord call with Seki, Vorn, or something, and relatively not needed to focus on what was being done. But then there's times like the Skahat Grand, or not Skahat Grand, that's what I pretty much had to use though, the Indra Grand Raid, where I was miserable beginning to end grinding that. That comes around, you're not going to see shit from me. Because it just would not be fun to watch me do those grinds. I'd just be complaining the entire time. You already got enough complaining today. Grand Ushi's eventual damage numbers. I've started trying to 120 my Ushi. I have. I don't know if I'm going to get that 120 anytime soon, but I'm working on it. I feel like I kind of need to put a little bit extra into her because she's only a 3-star. But the next scheduled stream, I'll need to think about what I'm doing with that. But it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be episode Aegis. I've talked about that before, and I'm thinking, just looking at my schedule next week, it's gonna be Tuesday or Thursday most likely. I'm leaning Thursday because I need to. I'll probably be busy the rest of that week, but we'll see. I might actually not have time to stream next week. I really don't know yet. I'll probably know by the end of this weekend. As for content, like videos that are releasing, we've already announced this Friday's video, I'm pretty sure. Seki just got a Nagatoro up. I believe this Friday's video is it? Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be the Joker manga. Did Seki ever get Justice Buster up? Seki did not get Justice Buster up. I'm going to need to talk with her about that one. In theory, Justice Buster probably needs to go up before Operation 1 Joker. Though I'm sure Operation 1 Joker is easier for Seki to get up. But if we can catch up on our off-the-shelf uploads, the next week you're gonna get new Seki reacts and an off-the-shelf for another Korean high society fantasy manhwa. This one's not transmigration. It's my in-laws are obsessed with me, so that's next week. I guess I'll give an update on my on personal content. I have not done shit in a minute for Fate Stay Night's video. I need to actually find a day to record that, and I just haven't found one. I've got another trip I'm going on. It's a shorter trip, but I haven't been able to record that yet, so I can't give y'all an ETA on that one. That one's like the most delayed video of all time. I had delays while reading it, delays while writing it, now delays while recording it, and there's probably going to be delays before editing it. Because it's going to be a long video, I'm not going to want to edit it. I have no idea when that thing's coming out. And then Hot Water Roxy, I didn't find time to make progress either. That one I actually have an excuse for, though. That one I'm playing a lot of catch up on Seki, on Off the Shelf and Seki Reacts prepping. And just work-wise, sometimes work-wise, work is light enough to where between things coming in at work I can pull out a manhwa or a manga. That's not been the case lately. I've been reading those mostly before bed and doing a lot of preps on Seki Reacts right before bed, which is when I would normally be playing Hot Water Roxy. So yeah. So yeah, next week or maybe the week after, just depending on how I'm feeling and what I've got time for, we'll be doing episode hiatus. Maybe I will take next week off streaming. I haven't taken a week off since the end of Extella 1, I'm pretty sure. I might have taken... I don't think I took one off of Extella Link. I guess I took the time off for my Hawaii trip, but that's a little different. I don't know. I'll think about it. You guys will see it in the community post. I'll talk with Seki about the stream plan for next week, too. But, yeah. Yeah. Next solo stream plans? Solo stream plans. Wouldn't that just be the... I think I brought that up. I'm going to be doing episode Aegis. Because I've got the DLC for that. I've got the Persona set up. I just need to actually play it. So, I'll just hook up my capture card to the PS5 and we'll run through episode Aegis, and that'll probably be a solid month or two of streams. And then from there, we'll see what we do. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get going. I need to get ready for bed. I hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you sometime, I'm sure.